Welcome into Paul Catalina's Top 5 presented by Texas Beef House. You may say, Paul, what are you doing over here in the corner all alone? Well, that's because we're trying something different because we have this cool vibe here and we don't ever use it. So I made a Google Slides presentation. So pretend like I am the cool guy at your office who does cool PowerPoints and slides promotions. But after the draft this week, draft like this, not like that. Draft like the Rams, not like the Browns. Look, the Rams, I know, just had their first-round pick since 2016. And maybe I'm a little biased because they used their first 2 picks on Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, people I love like sons because they played for the 2023 Florida State Seminoles. But they addressed 2 huge areas of need with the 2 best players available at that position at the point in the draft. And because of all their years of draft pick trading, they loaded up on things in the middle rounds. Do not draft like the Browns, who traded away a bunch of picks for Deshaun Watson, a guy who's played in 12 of 34 games since he's been back. Now, while they did make some good picks in the draft and some guys who should be able to help them, they did not get a lot of value. Plus, they did not have a lot of picks because they traded most of them away for a guy who we all know has not played very much. Next up, draft like this, not like that. Draft like the 49ers, not the Broncos. The 49ers see guys that they like. They get dudes who are ball players. They don't go by anybody else's board but their own. They're not involved in the hype. And look, if you read assessments of the 49ers draft, they'll say they overdrafted Ricky Pearsall. They overdrafted Renardo Green. They should have maybe needed this guy. You know what they did? They went out and saw guys who can make plays and help a team that's already really well established and help them right away get back to a Super Bowl and did that. Ricky Pearsall fits in really well with Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and can move the chains and get first downs. They went and got guys that they liked that fit their system and did that. The Broncos overdrafted a quarterback at number 12 in Bo Nix because they got desperate. Now, Sean Payton, a supposed quarterback whisperer, but the only quarterback he's whispered was Drew Brees, and I kind of think he hit the ground running when he got to New Orleans. That was just a good match between quarterback and coach. We'll see if Sean Payton is indeed a quarterback whisperer, plus the amount of picks between 12 and 76 that a team that really, really needed picks and needs to rebuild did not have was very telling as you go through the draft. Number 3, draft like the Texans, not like the Falcons. The Texans addressed almost every need they've had in the last 2 drafts and were able to stock up on picks, get the talent that they needed, move around in every round like they have the last couple of years, and built around C.J. Stroud in a huge way, also helped by building the defense. The Falcons don't like what they did. I'm a big fan of Michael Penix Jr., but you're also not playing him ideally for at least 2 years and maybe even 3, and he's already 24 years old. You had a ton of needs on defense. You did not address them early on in the draft. You drafted Michael Penix after giving Kirk Cousins $100 million guarantee. It might feel like 100 years for the Falcons before they ever reach a Super Bowl again. But if they get there with either of these 2 guys, I will be proven wrong. But right now, doesn't look like they got value at number 8, especially after spending $100 million on Kirk Cousins. Number 2, draft like the Cardinals, not like the Titans. The Cardinals, knowing they've been in rebuild mode, and this is saying a lot, the Cardinals are one of the worst run franchises historically in all of sports. But the last 2 drafts, they've had a GM who likes to move around and do things. This year, they didn't move around too much. They just said, we are tied to Kyler Murray. Whether that was a good decision or not, we won't know for a little while until he can be healthy. But let's get weapons around him. Let's build offensive linemen around him. And let's use all those other picks on defense. And they did that. The Titans picked at 7. Needed more value for the pick than they got, while J.C. Latham should be able to step in and play right away. He might be a right tackle and not a left tackle, meaning they still have a problem at left tackle and could have traded back and gotten more picks in a draft where they did not have a lot. The Titans are in full rebuild mode, but they've got some veterans around them. They're trying to make everything good around Will Levis to see if that actually works. They did not do enough in this draft to help him immediately and might be drafting a quarterback again next year. And finally, number 1, draft like the Eagles, not like the Cowboys. This should not be a surprise. The Eagles stayed put in the first round. Kenyon Mitchell fell to them. Cooper DeJean They went up and got him in the second round. They drafted all kind of players who could help them. I love the draft picks of Will Shipley, Aniyah Smith, and Johnny Wilson in particular to give more weapons to their offensive special teams. The Cowboys, though, on the other hand, you see Dak crying here, stressed out and upset. That's going to be his reality. Now, look, they did bring back his best friend in Zeke Elliott today. Whoop-de-doo, that might be a running back who is not able to start in the NFL anymore, in spite of what Jerry Jones says. They wasted a third-round pick on a linebacker they could have gotten in the sixth round when they could have gotten a young running back. They are not building weapons around Dak Prescott. Now, if Ryan Flournoy, their sixth-round pick, proves to be a weapon, I will eat my words. Like the picks of Tyler Guyton, like the pick of Cooper Beebe, like the pick of Marshawn Nealon, that gave them a lot of value. That's where they went. Then they went off the rails and stopped getting value, plus did not make trades when they could have to get more picks down the line. Don't like what the Cowboys did. They're in salary cap hell, and they continue to make bad decisions. Could be a long year in the NFC East, especially since the Washington Commanders also had an excellent draft. That's another top five for another day. Thanks for watching the top five. Please like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Have a great week, everybody.